We have been engaged in two exercises. First of all, capacity assessment, recognizing that looking at existing capacities, systemic and institutional capacities, human resources, data and information, technology and financial resources amongst the participating countries is essential. And then helping or working to develop an indicators template. So this was done through really a desk study. There was then ground truthing in 4 countries. There was then a review workshop where the countries gave further input, and the developers, the indicators template was developed through consultancy and shared with the member countries, which gave feedback. So the short-term recommendations re-indicators were that the country should identify a suite of basic priority IWACAM indicators that address national needs and priorities, that a minimum environmental monitoring system and required capacity for using such indicators should be evaluated and cost determined. Existing data should be used as a baseline for the monitoring program, and a set of core indicators should be selected and tested in pilot studies in one of the PCs, the participating countries. The country chosen was Barbados. It was seen as having more advanced indicators, initiatives, and capacity, and the object of that is to disseminate the lessons to the participating countries. So Barbados, the indicators pilot activity after some delay is just about to begin, and the expected outputs of this activity are that there will be a fully functioning database of data and information on key variables, and that there will be a functioning data exchange network. There will be guidelines for data collection of key terrestrial and hydrological data to ensure data quality, and increased capacity in something which is really very, very scarce in terms of human skills in the small island developing states, the database management and water resources information system management. So there's a lot more detail related to the indicators component, but I don't have the time to go into it here. So I thought I would focus a bit on some of the real challenges faced by our 9 demonstration projects in terms of collection of data, because I do feel that when we talk about data and information in the Caribbean, there is a huge gap in terms of capacity and capabilities between the small island developing states and the larger countries of the Caribbean. And some of these would have been demonstrated very clearly in the course of our demonstration project collection of data. So our demo projects collect data on a number for a number of things, parameters, and they're listed there, and they have had to be very resourceful in terms of how they collect data. It's collected by project staff, by consultants, by community volunteers and students in some instances. And archiving is a huge challenge. The fate of the data is a big question, because a lot of what I would be focusing on, because we are a project I think has certain challenges versus a program or something that is more ongoing. And the data is initially stored in project management units. We find sometimes it's stored in hard copy and soft copy. It takes a while to enter it anywhere. It is hopefully, and in most cases, submitted to relevant government departments, to state agency partners once analysis is completed. And if we're lucky again, as in the case of Jamaica, it's archived and linked to government information systems after a certain period. None of these things can necessarily be, the 2 previous bullets can be taken for granted. Geographic information systems is used to varying extents amongst the demonstration projects, notably by Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, and in Andros, Bahamas, where they are really trying to collect a lot of data, creating a reasonable baseline. And we have learned many lessons, or are learning. Well, before I go into that, I just wanted to make a note here that one of the exercises preoccupying us most at the present time, because we're in the last year of the project, is the documentation of lessons learned and good practices.